What's up, everybody? neoflynn here, and it is sports shorts time once again. Sorry that it's a day late this time. I had some stuff going on yesterday and didn't get a chance to get to it. A couple things I wanted to talk about real quick before we get into the picks. Two stories that are kind of been at the top of the sports world this week. Number one is the Cam Newton situation, which, they apparently declared him ineligible as soon as they found out, there may have been some sort of violation. But then immediately appealed that, and of course the NCAA came out and said he's eligible, he's fully eligible, no restrictions. Basically they found that there was something going on between Kenny Rogers and Cecil Newton, Cam's dad, but that neither Auburn nor Cam Newton had any knowledge of what was going on, therefore it wasn't a violation on their part, and therefore he's eligible to play. So I think that's interesting, and I think that pretty much guarantees that he's going to win the Heisman. I think the only thing that was hanging over him that would maybe have stopped him from winning the Heisman was that, suspicious cloud, but now that that's gone, you can pretty much bank on it. He's going to be your Heisman Trophy winner. And if they do come back later and suddenly say that they found something, well, then we learned from Reggie Bush that he'll vacate that, but be interesting to see if they ever do find anything. I don't think they will. If they were going to find it, they would have found it already. So, and the other thing is the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, whose name suddenly Derick Anderson, whose name suddenly escaped me there, yucking it up on the sidelines while his team is getting their asses handed to them on Monday Night Football. And, the reporter was asking him about it, and he kind of lost it with the reporter. And, I think the reporter had every right to ask those questions and try and get an answer out of him. And the easiest thing to do would have been, just say, you know what, we were trying to add some levity to the situation. It was really bad. What we were going through, we were just trying to, lighten the mood a little bit. But, he didn't say that, and caused a big stir, and then came out, the next day and apologized for it. So, anytime you do that, I think you know that person realizes, oh, I was in the wrong. So, just kind of an interesting situation that got blown, I think, way out of proportion, way more than it needed to, but very, very interesting what went on there. So as we get into the picks, once again, as always, 4 in college, 4 in the pros, although it was a little harder to find some college games worth picking this week with not a lot going on. But I did find some games of significance, and starting off, we got UConn at USF. Basically, if UConn wins, they are the Big East champion, and they will go to a BCS Bowl, which is kind of crazy to think a basketball school playing in a BCS Bowl. And they are getting 1.5, and I'm going to take that and roll with UConn. And I think they've got everything to play for, and I think they'll come through. So UConn plus the 1.5 there. And then the big one, Auburn at South Carolina. I have kind of had this feeling that no one can stop Auburn this year, but something feels funny about this one. And I want chaos in the BCS because I freaking hate the BCS and I want it to go away. So I want chaos. I want Auburn. Hell, I want Auburn and Oregon to lose, but I at least want one of them to lose and somehow let TCU get in the national title game just so everyone can lose their minds. And maybe we'll finally get rid of this mess that is the BCS and give us a damn playoff. So I'm going to take South Carolina plus the 5 in that one. Next up, the game that I lovingly heard referred to as the Crapple Bowl. That is the ever-popular Washington at Washington State matchup. One pretty mediocre team in Washington and one just terrible team in Washington State. So I'm going to take Washington minus the 6 in that one and see who wins the Crapple Cup. And last but not least, something that I told myself I wouldn't do again this year after the Texas debacle. We got Nebraska at Oklahoma, technically, for the Big 12 championship. And I told myself I wouldn't pick Nebraska anymore because the one time I did pick them, they lost to Texas. But they, for the first time this year, are actually the underdog. So they're getting 4.5 points. I can't pass it up. I got to take them. I have every reason to believe that they're going to win. So why wouldn't I pass up when I'm getting points? Hopefully we can take that Big 12 trophy and run with it. avoiding another referee conspiracy a la Texas A&M. We'll see what happens in that one. Moving on to the pro game. Some interesting picks for you this time. Starting off, we got San Francisco at Green Bay. I need San Francisco to win to uphold my prediction that they were going to make the playoffs this year. And they are getting 9.5 points. Yeah. 9.5, almost 2 digits in an NFL game is pretty big. Even though Green Bay is one of the better teams, I think San Francisco's on the rise, and I don't know, I just think something about them. I think they're going to go on a roll and somehow make the playoffs. They're only 1 game out right now, so I need them to win, so I'm going to pick them plus the 9.5. Next up, we got Atlanta at Tampa Bay. I've been riding Atlanta all year. This is a huge matchup for them. It is on the road this time, but I do think that they are the better team. Tampa Bay still seems like a fraud to me. They still haven't beat a team with a winning record, so their record is kind of padded, but I'm going to take Atlanta minus the 3 in that one. And another one with a huge spread that you don't see that very often in the pro game, and that's Oakland at San Diego. Oakland plus the 13. I can't stand San Diego. I got a guy at work that I always argue with about San Diego, so I have to pick against him. So give me Oakland plus the 13. And last but not least, Dallas at Indianapolis. Dallas has been wishy-washy all year. Indy's kind of been wishy-washy this year too, but I like Peyton at home. So give me Indy minus the 5.5. And those are the picks for the week. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying these, and I am enjoying doing them, so we'll keep it up, and we will see you next week and see how we did. Thanks a lot, guys.